Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah Peternell. I'm the owner of Family Nutrition Services in Denver, Colorado. I'm the creator of the 30-day online program called Nourished and Renewed with Hashimoto's, and I love to talk about detox. In fact, I love to help people support their daily detox. Now, you can pick up a kit, you can sign up to do a special program, or invest in some fancy supplements that can all help to kind of kickstart or best support your body's detox. But the reality is you're detoxing every day, whether you like it or not, or else you would be dead. So I'm happy to be here today to explain a common symptom or side effect that may indicate it's really time for you to do a detox. And I'll also give you some tips about how you can adjust this for your own body so you can start to feel better soon. So, body odor. Yikes, right? Not a very pleasant subject. Not something that we like to think about or that we like to talk about, especially not with other people. But maybe there's somebody in your life who's recently told you that maybe you have bad breath, or maybe that you just have kind of a strange odor. Maybe it's coming from your pits, or maybe it's coming from your toots. So body odors can be a sure sign that it is time to do a detox. When our body, and of course our liver, gets overburdened by the amount of work that it has to do every single day, things can start to back up. If you're not having regular elimination, daily bowel movements, and if you're not finding some way to help support your body's organs and systems to detox, well, yeah, you're probably getting a little bit backed up. I like to think of this kind of like you haven't taken the trash out in a while. So it's important to clean house, to take out the trash, and to get your body back to kind of that starting point, that clean point where all the cells are functioning healthfully, your liver isn't overburdened, and your digestive system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, which is to process the nutrition from your food, enabling your cells to absorb and utilize the nutrition that's in your food, and then to take the waste out by means of the colon. So let's talk about what some of these symptoms and these particular body odors might mean. Well, if it's halitosis or bad breath, it could mean that there's some stuff going on in the upper part of the GI where maybe food isn't digesting very well. It could mean that maybe you have low hydrochloric acid, which is stomach acid. If you have low HCl, either because you take something like a daily proton pump inhibitor like omeprazole, or even the over-the-counter brands like Nexium, or even if you chew on a lot of Tums, these can be some things that decrease your stomach acid. Now, it's a common concern for people who have reflux or heartburn that they take these medications because what they think they're doing is controlling the amount of stomach acid. But it actually sets up a vicious cycle because when you have less stomach acid, you're less able to best digest your food, which sets you up for more heartburn because that poorly digested food in the upper part of the GI, the stomach, and the beginnings of the small intestine are basically not being broken down into their smaller components that need to go through the small intestine for best absorption. So what happens when the stomach is overfull and not breaking down these foods properly is that it actually stretches and weakens some of the sphincters from the stomach up to the esophagus. Yeah, so now what little acid you do have, and maybe even some of the remnants or byproducts of your last meal are coming back up. That actually is a better explanation of what you might be experiencing with the discomfort in your esophagus throughout the day or especially after mealtime. It's actually because you have not enough stomach acid rather than having too much. So one of the things that I suggest if you are experiencing halitosis, these foods that are not being digested properly, they need a little extra support. So taking something like a chewable digestive enzyme can be very beneficial. Now you can go to your health food store and you can look through their shelves. They will carry a lot of different options. I recommend something that has either or both betaine and pepsin. These two components help to support both the breakdown of certain foods, but also to help with supporting your body's own ability to break down those foods. If you can find a high quality supplement that also contains hydrochloric acid, that would also be good. So there are a lot of different products available on the store shelves. And one that I recommend for my clients is a combination of gentian, which is a root. It's a herb. Started my door open. It's an herb that helps to support the body's digestive function. Also, the betaine, it is usually sourced from beets, and betaine helps to support the gallbladder's production of healthy bile, and bile flow is what keeps things moving through the liver to keep the liver healthy and to help us excrete waste. And then HCl can be purchased in a supplemental form to help your stomach and to help your digestive system more adequately digest the food that you've just consumed. Now, there are also something called pancreatic enzymes that contain proteases and lipases and amylase and cellulase and even some other enzymes that can help to break down things like gluten. You can find these as well, but I would just suggest that if you're dealing with a little bit of stinky breath and it's not coming from your teeth, but it's coming from your stomach, to work on rebuilding your healthy levels of hydrochloric acid and support the upper GI a little bit better. So next is if you are experiencing body odor, maybe from your armpits, or maybe for some ladies underneath their breast line. For some gentlemen, it might be under tummy rolls, maybe even at the small of the back, areas that get extra sweaty, even the crotch, areas that get extra sweaty, areas that can get a little extra stinky, and areas that we want not only to keep clean, but that we don't want to be poor representation of our health. So, what do we need to do to help ensure that our skin organ, which is one of our largest detox organs next to the liver, is also functioning properly? First of all, take a look at what types of products you are using and maybe anything that you are putting on your skin, which is creating an unhealthy barrier and preventing your skin pores, the skin cells, and the lymphatic drainage through the skin from releasing toxins as best as it should. You're supposed to be sweating a little bit every single day, but if your sweat has a funny odor, it may not be able to actually properly cleanse and purify those skin cells. Check your deodorant. Make sure that it doesn't contain any unhealthy or cancer-causing ingredients. In particular, check to make sure that it doesn't contain aluminum. You can look at your deodorant brand that you use, and you can actually go to the website called ewg.org, and you can log into their Skin Deep database, and you can actually look up different products that you use for body care or skin care and see what kind of a rating it gets. The higher the toxin rating, the less likely that you want to put that on your skin. So changing out some of your body care products is one of the first steps that you can do to make sure that your skin as a very vital detox organ is working properly for you. But in the meantime, you can do some things to help support your body's daily detox through the skin. I have another video that you might want to check out, and it's all about doing regular dry brushing and Epsom salt baths. So check out that video next. That's really helpful for supporting your skin and eliminating body odor that may come with toxicity. Lastly, if you are noticing, or maybe the people around you are noticing, that there are some pretty stinky toots going on, it's the lower digestive system that we want to focus on most of all. So lower digestive gas, especially foul smelling or egg smelling or kind of that sulfuric, gassy smell that is very common with either constipation, maybe just poor bowel health, and in particular, par for the course with a poor diet, it's time to examine what you are eating. If your waste products that you're eliminating are fermenting, rancidifying, putrefying in your gut, in your lower part of your digestive system, and causing these smells, the first and most important thing to do is to incorporate more detox supportive foods in your diet. I love the ABCs of liver health. That's apples, beets, and carrots. Best eaten raw, but also can be eaten fermented. Eating a little bit of these foods every single day will help not only to alkalize your system, but to help support your body's optimal digestion in moving things out of the body. You can also do a supplemental fiber if that is something that maybe you need to ensure that you are no longer constipated. You should be having a bowel movement just about every single day. You can check out some of my other videos that I have about constipation and bloating and small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, especially if you have Hashimoto's. These videos are for you. So, in addition to incorporating some of the liver-loving foods and detox-supportive foods like apples, beets, and carrots a little bit every single day, it's really important to make sure that you're staying very, very hydrated. Water is life, and it is the solvent for our digestive systems to continue working properly and making sure that waste is being eliminated. If you're dehydrated and you're constipated, you're going to have some pretty stinky toots. Please think about how much you weigh, maybe in terms of pounds, divide that number in half, and then it's in ounces that you want to drink your body's weight. I did not explain that well. Let me start over. How much do you weigh? If you weigh 150 pounds, you should drink half of your body weight in ounces every day. So that means a 150-pound person needs to drink 75 minimum ounces of fresh, pure, or spring or filtered water every single day. So if you know you're not hitting this number and you know you have some stinky toots, it is time to start increasing your hydration. Also take a look at your diet. What types of things are you eating that might be contributing to the rancidification and putrefaction and fermentation of foods that you're eating? Too many carbs and too much sugar leads to a lot of bloating and a lot of those fermented carbs. Bad oils like hydrogenated oils, fats from conventionally raised meat and dairy also can lead to the rancidification of those fats in the colon. So we want to try to cut those out as well. Focus on healthy fats from plant-based sources such as avocados and avocado oil, olives and olive oil, nuts and seeds, and healthy fats from things like wild-caught fatty fishes. Those can all help to support not only health throughout your body and reduce inflammation because they are rich in omega-3s, omega-9s, and are very supportive of the anti-inflammatory processes in the body, but they can also help to ensure that your bowel movements are not causing inflammation in the colon or allowing the wrong type of bacteria to flourish. If you are consuming a diet that's really rich in proteins, this may be the right choice for you. You can watch my video about how much protein you need, or maybe even the video about how much protein kids need. But if you're eating too much of the wrong kind of protein, such as, again, animals from confined feeding operations like conventionally grown, conventionally raised, conventionally harvested, cattle, beef, pork, chicken, yuck. These animals are fed a lot of antibiotics to make them basically healthy for the production primarily of dairy and meat. They are also probably given growth hormones that enable them to produce a lot more meat a whole lot faster. And these meats are often stressed. They're confined. These animals do not live normal lives. And when we consume foods from them, well, guess what? Our bodies become stressed too. Check out grass-fed beefs. Get to know a good butcher in your neighborhood. Maybe consume just a teeny bit less, but of a higher quality if the cost becomes more. So, we've talked about some ways in which you can reduce body odor if it's becoming a sign for you that you are starting to be a little toxic. Pay attention to a couple of things. Are you digesting properly up at the upper level of your gut? Are you thinking that maybe you have heartburn or reflux, but what you really have is low hydrochloric acid, and you need to support better the digestion of foods up at the top level of the stomach and the small intestine? Give betaine, pepsin, and also HCl a try. If you're stinky in your pits, well, maybe it's time to think about how you're going to better support your skin by removing toxic products, doing daily dry brushing, and also taking an Epsom salt bath a few times per week. If your toots are smelly, then it's time to pay attention to exactly what you're eating. Incorporate more liver-loving foods, apples, beets, and carrots, and also incorporate fiber and water. Take a look at the quality of the meats and oils that you are eating. And also, if you're consuming too much sugar, cut that out. Thanks so much for watching today's video all about signs of toxicity being a little bit smelly. I'll be back with more videos soon. Take care.